Welcome to the next chapter of As the Story Grows. I'm Brian Patton. This week, we welcome Rob and Andreas from German metalcore band The Oklahoma Kid to the podcast. The Oklahoma Kid will release Tangerine Tragic this Friday, June 3rd on Rising Empire Records. The guys talk about their musical background and their experience in their respective local scenes, the formation and history of the Oklahoma Kid, how COVID undercut the promotion of Solarray, and finding a new sound on Tangerine Tragic. Remember, if you dig an episode, the best way to help the podcast is to share the episode to your social feeds. Let your friends and family know what they might be missing out on. Ratings and reviews are always helpful on your podcast player of choice. It's been a minute since we've had a review, so help the podcast out, guys. You can always join us over at patreon.com/asthestorygrows or on our Discord server. I've been doing some live streams on Discord. I downloaded a bunch of records from Bandcamp and we'll be doing a listening party over there at some time this week. A link to Patreon, our Discord server, our mailing list, and more is available at asthestorygrows.com. All right, let's get to this week's chat with Rob and Andreas. I hope you guys enjoy listening to it as much as I enjoyed having it. There we go.
Nice.
Wonderful.
I have to blur my background. It's pretty messy. I hope it's okay. Or does it work okay? Nice.
Yeah.
He won't use the video, just the audio for the podcast.
Okay. That's perfect.
Yeah. It's just nice to see faces, but sometimes
of course.
Sometimes it doesn't work. How's it going?
I'm pretty fine. And you?
Doing good. Doing good.
Doing good for Monday.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Monday.
Sunny outside.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good. How's the weather over there right now?
It's awesome here.
Yeah,
but it's only in the morning for you, right?
Yeah, it's 11 a.m. Yeah,
11 a.m. Yeah.
Oh, that's
early bird.
Yeah, I've been up since 5:30, so it's all good.
It's funny because of the time difference. I was asleep at this time on your day. So I'm a time traveler. We're in the future. It's 5 p.m. here.
So, Andreas, you play guitar. Rob, what do you do?
I'm the bassist. I'm the useless bassist.
It's not useless.
That's fine. I cover other parts.
Well, let's just start. What got each of you into music?
You can start, Andreas. It's your interview, after all.
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
What got you into music?
Oh, what got me into music? I think it was my granddad, and I started to play guitar because of him. He was playing his whole life, and so I started when I was 12 to play him a little melody on Christmas, and then the rock music got me.
Yeah,
a few years later.
What was your first band? Which band got you into metal, Andreas?
Oh, that was the question.
No, that's my question to you because okay. I don't know your backstory either. So.
Oh, okay. I think so. It started with this songs you learn on the guitar when you learn guitar, like Sweet Home Alabama, and it's like Stairway to Heaven and Sweet Home Alabama, and then the songs are getting heavier, and I think the band that got me into metal was actually Dream Theater.
Oh,
because I was like on this trip to always learn harder stuff, and from Sweet Home Alabama, the next step is obviously Dream Theater, as we all know.
Dream Theater licks, yeah, obviously. yeah, well, I would say you're a decent guitar player after all. So it worked out in the end. You're studying this stuff. Well, if it goes for me, what brought me into the music? Actually, what brought me playing instrument was like a friend of mine asked me to hang out with his band, and so I was a staple in their rehearsal room, and I was there all the time. And their second guitar player left, and no, they looked for bass player. That's what that was. They looked for bass player, and since they have like the sentiment, everyone can play bass. So just, hey, Rob, come on, grab the bass and play some bass for us. And I said, yes, okay, why not? It's can't be that hard. And yeah, and so I picked up the bass with, I think, with 17 or 18. Yeah. And yeah, since then I'm trying to to get better and learn the instrument. But yeah, it's like playing bass in a metal band. Yeah, you're a bit a bit forgotten, I would say. there are other styles of music which have more emphasis on the bass guitar, like funk music or even indie music. But the metal, it's a bit underwhelming. But I'm fine with that. I can live with having a lesser role in the public eye for yeah.
Yep.
In terms of the band and the music overall.
But if the bass is missing, you notice it. Just ask Metallica.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. If you ask anyone, can you hear the bass? No. But if you turn the bass off, yeah, you hear the difference. Yeah, of course I hear it. And, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, and actually, I'm not a good of a musician myself. I didn't even notice the bass for myself. Even when I started playing bass, where's the bass? Where's the bass? Where's the bass? It's like not that easy. You have to have a good ear for that. But yeah, bass, it's kind of like more like a feeling in the stomach.
Yeah.
It's like like the kick drum, the rhythm part, the rhythm session of the band, the rhythmic group. Yeah.
What is your musical background, Brian?
Oh, I got into ska in junior high. And then ska led me to punk, which led me to metal. And it was just a progression to find more and more and get heavier and heavier. Yeah.
Okay.
I hate ska music because it's trumpets. Trumpets are just the worst. What the fuck?
It worked when I was 11, so.
Okay. Well, that's acceptable. That's acceptable.
Right,
I started listening to heavier music. We had a radio channel, and they broadcasted some teen punk rock music like the Offspring, and Blur song 2 and this kind of stuff. And I set on my my recorder, and always when the song I wanted to record came up, I have to really be quick and press the record button. That's some old school pre-internet shit. So, but it worked, and I had some tapes with my favorite tracks drauf, and I listened to it. And one of the first records I bought was the Offspring Americana, which I hold in high regards till today. It's really really nice record. It's super heavy for a punk band.
Yeah. What was the local scene like? Was there like a good scene of like hardcore metal bands where you were from, like shows coming through, or was it like a struggle and it was like only a few of you in like a tight community?
You start, Andreas.
Okay,
so we're from different towns.
Yeah, like in my hometown, there was a good community, but even if there's a good community, then the bands are still struggling. Like, I mean, when you see the same 20 people on every show, and then 20 people is enough, and it's a good community, but they're still struggling. And I think that's what it was like. Hardcore shows got less interesting in the last years a little bit, but I don't know how it is today. I moved from my hometown like 5 years ago, and I can't tell you how the scene there is today, even so, especially after Corona.
Yeah.
No idea how the underground scene there is now.
But in Berlin has a flourishing scene, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
I think in Berlin it's hard for underground bands because it's too big. Like there are too many underground shows happening at the same time, and if you're from a smaller town, then there's just this one place where a hardcore band is playing like every 2 weeks. And in Berlin, it's like every day there's playing 3 to 5 bands in different spots of the city, and I think it's hard to get on stages for smaller bands.
Yeah,
it's way harder in big towns.
Yeah, just too much. I think I can figure in Washington, DC. It's like this. Washington is really big, right? Is it like 5 million or so, or 6 million?
Yeah. There's a lot of people here, and
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Like when I was like younger, I mean, it was better if you were a small band because like scenes were still in like houses. Their shows were still in like houses and like VFW halls, church basements, and like if a big band came through, you just like threw your hat in the ring and be like, "Can we play?" And someone would say yes. Now it's like everything's in a bar or a club, and it's like you got to sell tickets, and it's a major pain in the ass.
It's kind of, for me, it's an American and UK thing that you play in bars a lot. There's no such like dedicated small clubs with small stages for 100 to 250 people, which is really common in Germany, to be honest. And I heard from our singer, our vocalist guy, Tom. He was his former vocalist of Acranius, and they toured to the US, I think 2 times. I can't remember. And he said they played some shady small places all over. It was California, I think, or Texas, California, I know. And yeah, it was really like that. It was really an experience. Yeah. And for the local scene back then, when I was small, I started going on local concert, I think in 2005, was it? So it's been 17 years ago. And the scene was pretty good. Back then, the scene was really good, but it was more for not hardcore, it was more general metal, thrash metal, death metal, heavy metal, such stuff, black metal, all that stuff. And there were like 3 or 4 local bands who played each weekend, but it was always nice. It was always full and always a lot of people and mosh pit and crowd surfing. It was really cool. And I was going in the mosh pit as well and headbanging in the first row. I was a fan back then, a big fan. And now I'm just standing in the back with crossed arms and observing. No, not like that. Not the elitist stuff. But yeah, that was the scene back then. But it got a bit less it receded a bit with time.
Yeah.
But it came back when the deathcore and the hardcore took off a bit. So when deathcore hit the scene, we had a lot of scene stuff. This was also the time where our guitar player Fred and our singer, they stepped into the scene. And the first time I have seen these guys, I saw them on local shows where from hardcore bands from my hometown, and but now I think it's not that good. Well, actually, I can tell because I'm working in a small club with a small stage, like up to 200 people, and we mostly do local bands, and it's well visited. But it's still the same people from 2005, so there's not a lot of new blood. It's like all the same people, but they just aged like me. So it's a bit sad, but I think metal, after all, isn't that popular anymore. It wasn't back then, but I think it's now less even than before. Speaking from my experience from my hometown. In other cities, even Germany, it's a whole different story. Like the more you go south, the more you got more metal people, in my experience. And we played Germany a lot, so I think that counts. Yeah, but this is how I experienced the early years.
That's cool. How did the band get started?
It's funny because the guys who started the band are not here.
But you're there for a long enough time.
I was there for a long enough time, and actually I played in the former band before the Oklahoma Kid. There was other band from Rostock, my hometown, and I left the band, and some other guy left the band, and some new guys stepped in, our singer and our other guitar player, and they founded the band the Oklahoma Kid, and with some other guys who are not anymore in the band. They played in the band the first years and had a couple of gigs, but never released anything. It was back in 2007, so it's like really, really long ago. And so the project kind of went on a hibernation and just picked up pace again in, I think, 2013 when we had a new guitar player, and I also joined the band. And at that point, we took it more seriously. And we went and said, Gent is a new big thing, and we like this kind of music, and let's do some stuff. And we recorded our first, it's an EP, it's an extended EP. Yeah. It's like extended EP, so, because it's like 30 minutes, it's not the usual length, but
fortune teller.
Exactly, Fortune Teller was home recorded in the basement of our former guitar player, not in his basement, but in the basement of the place where his girlfriend lived. So, and we had like sessions where I took my PC because we needed some place where we can record the stuff, and no one had a place where you can be loud all night. And we're pretty nocturnal guys. We're not like wake. Speaking for me, we were like being up in the night, and so we shifted a lot of stuff around to make it happen, and but we were pretty inexperienced, but tried to get something done. And
sounds like you recorded the EP in the 90s. You had to bring over your PC.
Yeah, it really was like that. I had to bring over my PC to some places, and we were at Fred's place, at Felix's place, at my place, and we shifted all the time. And it also wasn't that nice because we were so bad, and we couldn't admit it to ourselves, and we had so much trouble recording vocals. I still recall, and it was a nice time, but also some bad memories because when people argue and they get pissed about each other, all the stuff. I think the band is now much more serious and professional, but it's not taking a toll on the people. I think we get much more better along than we used to. It's like it's really good. I like it. I like it the way it is now.
That's cool. Do you know where the name came from?
But that's the famous question.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the question. That's a staple question for each interview. The name is actually from a famous scene from the famous movie Goodfellas, and it's called Spider Scene. I think where they play in some back room of some shady place, and they play poker, the fellas, and there's Spider, I don't know. There's a barkeeper guy, and he gets shot in the feet because he upset someone, and he took it too seriously, and I don't know. But they have a casual talk on the table, like in good Scorsese movies or Tarantino movies. You have the good casual talk, and they talk about good movies. And some movies they mentioned is the Oklahoma Kid from 1939 or 42. I don't remember. And and our guitar player Fred and our singer Tom liked the name and liked the scene, and were super into movies at that point, and it kind of was the flavor of the month or of the year at that point that you name your band like the Oklahoma Kid, Bring Me the Horizon, I don't know, all the
Devil Wears Prada.
exactly this kind of stuff. All the bands did it back then. All the bands did it, and now it's more fun. I think now it's more in if you just have one word as your band name. But back then, we butter the bread with butter, abandon all ships, we came as Romans. All these bands and all had all these three words or super long. And I wrestled a bear once. But this is the origin story for our band name. We stole it from a Scorsese movie.
Andreas, how did you join the band?
I joined 2018, and we were like playing a weekend with my old hardcore band. We were supporting together with the Oklahoma Kid for our Hollow Our Home. I don't know if the band tells you something. It's like from UK metalcore band, and we got to know each other on this weekend. And the former guitarist of the Oklahoma Kid wasn't touring with them, and they were looking for a new one. And then I had some chats with Fred, but I was living at the other side of Germany, like 800 kilometers away. And I was like, that's too dumb to join a band. That's 8 hours drive away. It's not going to work out. But then I moved to Berlin, and then the distance got a little bit shorter. And then we said, let's try it. And actually, I joined the band at the video shoot for Oasis. That's when I really met these guys for the first time, because on the Weekender, I only got to meet Fred, and I can remember that it was like a pain for me to see Rob and Tom for the first time at the shoot for the video where I can't get edited out. Like I'm a part of the band now, I guess. It was like
we were suspicious, man. He was a sus guy back then, because we were like, okay, so he's taking part in this video shoot, so he's in the video, but what if he leaves the band in like 2 weeks? What then? So it's like, it was so uncertain at that point, and we were really skeptical about it. But it worked out. And the video is still up, and he's still in there, but with long hair.
With long hair and with like 5 seconds screen time, because they were going for the safe way. They could have cut me out.
You guys released Solarray in September of 2019, and then the world shut down. How did the COVID shutdown impact you guys in your 2020 plans?
It impacted us pretty bad, because like in 19, we finally got together with a record label called A Rising Empire. And then we had our first opportunities of touring with like bigger bands, and we were on tour with Imminence for 3 weeks, and then we got a contract with a tour agency that was like promoting the tour of Imminence, and then we got our own headliner tour, and we got a lot of festivals, and then like everything shut down. We were like so close before like actually doing stuff. Finally having like label and other guys helping us, and then the world shut down.
What was a really bad blow. We're playing. We delayed our tour like 3 times or so. We had a tour for October 2020, and we're playing it October 2022. It's like straight up 2 years delayed. And in the meantime, we're releasing our next record, and actually it's the tour for our last record, but now we have to rebrand it, we have to relabel it. It's like, because it's not working anymore. You can't. So we skipped all that progress we could have made. We had a really nice, busy festival summer lined up for 2020, and couldn't participate in anything because everything was offline. We couldn't do anything. Well, it's for every band. It was like that for every band, which kind of is a bit like, okay, but I think we are a small band, and maybe we are on a verge to making better progress and become bigger, and so it's like really not that nice, because and we still have a lot to pay for the band and all that stuff, and would have been nice to use the last 2 years. Well, we used it and we made new music, but getting a bit more around would have been really cool. But yeah, didn't work out.
Tangerine Tragic comes out June 3rd. This record, I mean, it's different from Solarray, but like, I feel like, one, because of the COVID pandemic, a lot of people are just being like taking this opportunity to create whatever they want. And two, I feel like European bands, especially in the metal genre, are more willing to just wear their influences on their sleeve and not be like, we have to sound the same every record or our fans will hate us because whatever reason. Like, so one, what was the decision to kind of go in a more creative route to add more electronic and pop elements to your sound? And two, do you think there's like a more accepting scene in Europe to just like, if you experiment, people are going to be willing to go with you? That's a lot of questions.
Yeah, that's a lot. First of all, we're super excited that it finally will come out in 4 weeks, because we're working a lot on this album, and I think Fritz started writing songs for this album before Solarray came out, or like exactly after Solarray came out, at least. And so it has been a journey, and I think that's also a reason why the album sounds so different. And also like all this electronic influences and stuff. You can also hear it on Solarray. And I think we just got a little bit more confident of doing it, like not wanting to sound like everyone else, like the exact opposite approach of what you just said, like trying to sound different.
So to address the other question, I think it's not a lot different than the US. If you watch for the most successful bands in Germany and from Germany, it's like the usual stuff. There's not much experimental stuff going on. If from the top of my head, a former Eskimo Callboy, they're now called Electric Callboy or so. Yeah, it's like, I think this is like the music when you want to earn good with metal music in Germany, you have to be kind of on that train of music. I call it like party metal. It's like good vibes. It's well produced. The songs are also really good written, but from a art and experimental standpoint, I think don't has a lot of headroom. They're really tight. They can't. Not a lot of wiggle room for their music, but if you want to live from it, this kind of music really pays.
I don't know. I think they are doing their own stuff, and also always have like some weird influences, and they've been around for for a very long time, and they've been doing this style of music for a very long time, and always had like the dumb humor things in the music that's funny, and I don't think they did it to like earn money.
So they're still true to their roots. Okay.
Yeah, they have been doing this for like a lot of time, and now they are getting hurt, and I think that's fine for them.
But I think if we would make party metal like that, we might have more success. I don't know. I think there are a lot of copycats from that band, but I don't know. I think you can rise up faster with this kind of music, but maybe the people don't hang around too long with your music because you're so expendable. It's like no one cares. You're this funny band. It's like when bands cover pop songs.
Yeah.
And they cover some Rihanna song or so, and wow, it's a one-trick pony. Wow, you did that. Wow, really nice. You added some distortion and some vocals, some shouts. Nice, good music. Wow, really good. But sometimes it works, sometimes it don't work.
Yeah. You had said in this press release that it was important to find a producer outside of the metal genre. What made that so important?
Basically, what I said earlier, trying to sound different, trying to do metal music, but not in a metal approach, and not going with the sound that everyone else has in Europe. So yeah, that's why. I mean, Jan Kerscher, our producer, he wasn't like completely new to metal music, but he has not been doing a lot of metal in the last years. So he was like he knew the genre, but he had more experience in other fields. And since all the songs on the album have so much influences from other genre, it was nice to have him around. And yeah, there's this the last single here, it has a lot of indie influences, and it was nice to have Jan bring in some indie sound into this song. And there are also a lot of other surprises on the album that have very different sounds. So
yeah, like when words like violence and replace come on, like I think especially Replaced has like a real 80s synth pop vibe, and you're just like, all right, that's cool. Like both the songs are great. Like,
you heard the record?
I've heard the whole record.
Tracks? Okay,
I've got it. Yeah, I know your trick.
Okay, yeah. What's like violence? That's a big one. That's a big one. We got in some argument with our label because we wanted to release it as a single, but from a marketing standpoint, tough thing to say. Maybe if we were Bring Me the Horizon, it would be no problem, but we are not in the position to making the big calls. But would have been nice. It's like our most experimental song on the record. Yeah.
But it seems like a label like Rising Empire, like so many of the bands, even in like the metalcore genre, run the gamut of sounds. I mean, like The City Is Ours is like, boy band metalcore, like, and I don't say that disrespectful because their album was fucking great, but just like that gamut of like every band is heavy but is doing their own thing and have like experimentation in their music. It's great. So where'd the name Tangerine Tragic come from?
That I don't know. I don't know. I have a guess, but Andreas can tell.
Do you want to guess?
I guess no.
Actually, we were brainstorming about cool sounding album titles, and Fred came up with an idea, and he told us like it's a poem that his ex-girlfriend wrote. I don't know what's it about, but we kind of fell in love with the sound of this name, and that's where it came from.
afraid of. Needless to say that I am ready to take yours ahead now. Call for a change of heart. Who is to blame now? Don't look at me for that. I could be something that you will fear more than you fear.
Since you already heard it, what was your favorite song that's not a single?
Man, I mean, Dance with Fire was a great like opener. Replaced, I really loved Replaced and Die Black to Pink. Like all those were like great, but like as a flow, like the whole thing works. I like, and I listened to Fortune Teller this morning, and then I put the new record on so I could like listen to the contrast of like where the band was, where they are now.
You listen to Fortune Teller?
I downloaded it this morning. I put it on my phone. No. Yeah.
I haven't heard it in like 5 years. Like, oh no, I can't. Oh god! If you know all the background to each single song and how it was programmed, and I'm too close to it. I can't listen to it. I have to get a couple more years, and I can listen to it. but now, no.
I can listen to it.
No. Some people still say it's the best record. But God, it's the most heavy, most genty stuff because it was really popular at the time. We liked it. And for the upcoming record, it comes out in June, and we will release. There will be one more single, right? Did I spoil
there will be.
I don't know. Maybe
you did, but. Yeah, you did, but there will be another music video for the album release. But I think that's not a big surprise. Everyone is doing it, so you can say.
Okay, so we will release another single before the record comes out, and it's a crazy record. I think it has really. I know there are other records from other bands which I really like, but when you hear a full record, like 10 songs in a row, it kind of at some point there's no breathing room. It's all heavy all the time, and there's no breaks, and it's kind of getting messy. And down the line, after 5-6 songs, you turn off your head and you don't listen actually anymore to it. But we try to have some breathing room and some really slow songs and really from the style different songs. That's why we have some tracks who are like fully electronic or like indie music or like more grungy from the Viper, and also the run-of-the-mill heavy metal genty songs, which we also still like. We really like heavy music, but we also like making different kinds of music. So yeah, and I think people will enjoy it. I hope so.
Thanks for listening to As the Story Grows. Our intro music was written and composed by Jeremy Hunt. The As the Story Grows theme is by Bob Nana. If you like what you hear, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and give us a rating and review. If you'd like to support the show financially, you can join us at patreon.com/asthestorygrows. Be a part of our community and join the ongoing conversation over on Discord. If you enjoy this episode, share it on social media with your friends. Much appreciated, and thanks for listening.
I never felt so young and alive as when I'm diving into a tune. And now I'm learning as I listen along, and the wheels are turning, and started a song.